The United States was never in the stars for us. It was an aspiration.
That was one of my dreams, the house with the picket fence, because I'd never had that. I lived in the projects.
I don't know if I ever imagined that I would own my own business.
We really started with nothing. We started just with an ice cream machine out of our own home.
There's so much opportunity out there. If you work hard, you have opportunity.
This industry has a lot of opportunities in a lot of different ways.
You can start as a food server or bartender, and you can end up as the CEO for a very large publicly held company. Anything's possible.
Well, I was born and raised in Kenya. I came to America on a scholarship. I put myself through college by working in dining services 40 hours a week.
I think I was about 10. And it was put to me that if I didn't like the way we cooked as a family, I could do the cooking. That's what started it all.
I started out wanting to be a pastry chef, but as soon as I started making ice cream, I realized that ice cream is everything.
I came from an orphanage in South Korea. I look different, I talk different, and then I had hearing aids and this headset around my neck.
I was last in my class in high school. Out of 600 people, I was dead last, and I was still class president.
I knew I didn't want to go to college, so I got in my car and I had $300 and I started driving around the country. And I ran out of money here in Seattle. I was down to my last buck.
My wife sold her engagement ring. I sold a very valuable watch that my father gave me. We sold everything. And 3.5 years later, we owned our first restaurant.
I started as a food server when I was 16. I loved the business. I loved everything about it.
My parents split up when I was in first grade, so we lived out of the back of a Pinto and camped.
I grew up in El Salvador. We grew up in a shanty town, and I left when I was 17.
We opened as a kind of elevated coffee shop, and we quickly transitioned to full breakfast, which was probably a little premature. We didn't give it a whole lot of time to work through the kinks.
Good job, everybody.
Thank you. How you doing, Cynthia?
Just fine. And you, Tony?
Holy guacamole, that's right. That's what we should call it, holy guacamole.
So did you check on table 101? Huh?
I checked on 101. Our little Kristen.
What she does best. See? This is what she does. She takes care of everybody.
I love this industry. There's tremendous opportunity here for people of all walks of life.
Where else could you find a place that you enjoy coming to work every day like we do and get paid for it?
So we got the leeks in there, little paprika, the hazelnut brown butter. No matter what happens, being in this industry, I can feed my family. I can make them great food. It's the greatest thing in the world.
There are some fantastic careers in this industry.
We've had people start out as an hourly position or $30,000 a year, and are now making six-figure incomes. This business is unparalleled in opportunity out there.
That's what this industry provides to you, an opportunity, and you can start from the ground up.
We pretended like we lived somewhere down there, and we'd walk up to the bus here. And when we got off, we would make sure that we would walk away from the house because we didn't want anybody to see the little shack that we were living in. I had a mentor that believed in me and gave me opportunity to be able to advance, and I eventually was able to buy the company from him.
In this room, there are incredibly talented people who I know will someday open their own restaurant, have their own coffee house.
This industry has supported a number of families, including my family. You know, there's always an opportunity here.
I think a lot of people, they have this vision of us being hamburger flippers with our little paper hats. We give millions of people an opportunity. 1 out of 4 people has worked in the restaurant business. We really are the fabric of America.
What's grounding is the fact that you can start from being a dishwasher to being a leader of a large company or a large division. And I would have never imagined that sorting silverware was going to lead to great things.
Today we have 6 stores. We sell all over the country in gourmet grocery stores and to restaurants all over America.
I started in the dish room 30 years ago. And today I'm president of now a $100 million restaurant company.
28 years now, we've gone from 30 seats to 110 seats, and we opened a second location 2 years ago.
When we first started with one restaurant, we did annual sales of about $1.5 billion. We have grown to 12 restaurants, and we have annual sales income of roughly $26 million.
I started as a food server. Now I'm running the very company that I started as a food server.
I was able to create 3 different restaurants, which is now owned by the family.
I started on the cook side of things. Now I'm opening 6 restaurants in the next year and a half.
My folks started this business almost 80 years ago, and now my son is taking over.
I wanted to open my first restaurant before I was 30. I wanted to make my first $1 million before I was 40, and I want to retire by the time I'm 50. It has been storybook.
I didn't imagine that we would own a restaurant. We've exceeded our expectations. We exceeded our dreams.
If you think about going to work for a restaurant and eventually running a $2 or $3 or $4 million piece of business, it's the opportunity of a lifetime. I'm very blessed that I'm living the American dream.
I would have never imagined growing up in Nairobi, Kenya, that I would be standing here today.
Who would have thought that I would end up where I am today, living the American dream?
Starting at $265 an hour to, running a $100 million restaurant company I built from scratch. I'm the epitome of what is possible in this industry.
You show me somebody that comes from the restaurant business, I'll show you somebody who can do anything.
I'm Tony Pacco. I'm the president of my own company.
I'm Leslie Mackey.
I'm Guy Fieri.
I'm Jenny Brittenbauer. I'm an ice cream artisan and business owner.
Hi, I'm Tom Douglas. I'm a restaurateur.
I'm Brett Stewart. I'm a franchisee.
I'm Oscar Hernandez.
I'm Julia Stewart.
I'm Cameron Mitchell, and I founded my own restaurant company.
I'm chairman and CEO.
And I own my own restaurant.
I'm an artisan baker.
I'm Tina Tomaselli.
I'm Anthony Tomaselli.
Amy Igloi Matsuno, and I'm a restaurant owner.
TV host, author, and dad.
We're husband and wife.
And restaurant owners.
I'm Ron Smith. I own 12 franchise restaurants.
I'm Hussein Kirapwala. I'm a restaurant brand president.
What a blessing. What a blessing.
Only in America and only in the restaurant business. It's just fabulous.
And there's never a dull moment in the restaurant business. Anybody knows me knows I'm an eternal optimist. Is the glass of water half full or half empty? In my opinion, it's not only full, I got a pitcher of water sitting right beside it. That's the way I look at it. In the beginning, I like to tell my brother was a medical doctor and he didn't have any money. He was out of med school. Back then, you got all those credit card offers and got the cash advance on them to put the money into the first restaurant for me. But I knew when I got that funding and I got this deal done and I knew the restaurant was going to happen, all I needed was a start. So this restaurant was never, ever about one restaurant. It was about the birth of a company. This was the start of Cameron Mitchell Restaurants. What the really fun part is the creating of the new concepts. It's the hard part, it's the heavy lifting part, but it's a lot of fun. So it all depends a lot on the site, and we kind of try to match the concept to the location. And then after we do that, and if it's successful, then we start thinking about maybe replicating it and matching those locations across the country. My favorite restaurant is always the next one. It's that continual excitement of growing and building that I really thrive on, and seeing new restaurants come to light. The answer is yes. What's the question? If there's a way we can do something, we're going to make it happen. Started with my family, and I had a young son, 4 years old at the time. I wanted to get him a milkshake. So I ordered a milkshake, and the server says, well, we don't really have a milkshake for kids. And I said, why not? You just can't? And she says, no. I said, will you talk to your manager for me, please? The manager comes over, and she says, we pre-portion the ice cream, and if we did a little bit of ice cream for your son, what would we do with the rest of it? I said, well, can I have a chocolate milk then? And she said, well, sure. She said, it'd be my pleasure. And she thought she was doing me a great favor at that point in time. And she starts to walk away, and I said, excuse me, I got one question for you. She said, what's that? I said, well, it says here on your menu, a la mode, $2.95. What does that mean? She says, well, that's a scoop of ice cream with desserts. I said, well, great. Can I have an order of a la mode and an order of chocolate milk? If you could whip that up in a blender for me, that'd be terrific. And she says, well, that's okay, but that's going to be expensive, sir. I said, I'm a big boy, I can handle it, no problem. The milkshake has become the icon of hospitality. We use it for all of our annual meetings and company events and president's roundtables and so forth. We start all the big meetings with a milkshake toast to all of us in the room, to great people delivering genuine hospitality. It reinforces across the board how the answer is yes, what's the question? And that's an attitude. If we're better today than we were yesterday, and better tomorrow than we are today, by that virtue alone, tomorrow will be more of a successful restaurant company. The success of Cameron Mitchell Restaurants, I like to say, is, yeah, I was part of it, but I was one guy. You know, there was a lot of other people, hundreds and hundreds that have worked really hard to make it successful. If we take care of our people, they take care of our guests, and our guests take care of our company. And that's basically how it works. If your associates aren't happy and feeling good about what they're doing and where they're working and who they work with and so forth, they can't deliver genuine hospitality. And we like to say we're great people delivering genuine hospitality, and that can't be achieved unless we're taking care of our people first.